Welcome to the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. You would not play the second half of a game the same way you did the first, especially if you've got the lead. As it relates to retirement, and many of you have that lead, so what do? We maintain it. Maintain your lead in retirement. Stick around. We've got a great show for you. I understand sometimes transitioning or seeking outside or second opinions can be emotional, but at the end of the day, it's your money, right? Our focus is on retirement planning, financial planning at its best, okay? And that's what we do. Understand that we're not missing this, right? We are doing our best to do analysis and understand what future values look like on money.
The Retirement Halftime Show starts right now. Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement. The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back. I'm Sevilla Beam and I'm here with Alexander Joyce. We're learning more about his book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. Right now we want to talk about Chapter 9, New Ideas for Investing. Now I know as a CPA, when I meet with my clients all the time and we're talking about retirement and investing, that's one question I get all the time. Well, I want to talk to an advisor who's got new ideas or they've got a fresh perspective. So I think this is a really interesting chapter. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think that one of the I don't know if the right word is challenges, but when we start to engage a client, right? When we start to build that relationship with the client, because our firm is built the foundation of our firm is built on individual relationships. And one of the things we do is when we gather information and just generally ask questions, right, to see if we can build something, if you would, see if we're a good fit.
Absolutely.
Is we ask questions, and it's very common that they would tell a story about maybe a colleague or a friend or someone down the street or a neighbor or someone at church. And they said, this is happening in the market, and my advisor or my friend or a family member of an advisor said that we're doing this right now. And you kind of think in the back of your mind, well, I'm not getting any fresh ideas or fresh advice, or a lot of times you hear something at a seminar and it's like, well, I wish there was a little bit more engagement, or I wish there was more communication. I wish ideas were brought to the table. And I think that it's important to know, and one of the things that we highlight in the book is it's important to know that advisors have different focuses. And I certainly am a big fan of second opinions. I'm also a big fan of understanding that, as we grow in a relationship with an advisor, we have to not lose focus of what's ours. And I'm sure down the road, 20, 10, 30 years later, you've built this relationship with your advisor, but the simple fact of the matter is, I understand sometimes transitioning or seeking outside or second opinions can be emotional, but at the end of the day, it's your money, right? At the end of the day, you want what's best for you. And having said that, if you would, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a team of advisors. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with having multiple advisors. I would stand up and say, what we do great, right? I have no issue with that, right? But at the same time, I don't have an issue of telling you what we're not good at and where our focus is. We do retirement planning, right? If someone walks in our office and their primary goal is we want futures, and we want to invest in pork bellies and rice and things of that nature. Listen, we understand how commodities work, but we're not a commodity-based firm. Sure. Right? Our focus is on retirement planning, financial planning at its best. Okay? And that's what we do. So I think that making sure that being focused on what the approach is and understanding the holistic approach and building out these plans is our first goal.
Absolutely. And I know we get the same thing all the time in our office. You know, when people come in to do taxes, it's, well, my friend or my neighbor was deducting this, or they were doing this, and why can't I do that? And it's definitely an individual approach. We've got to keep everybody's individual goals in mind. You know, the same thing that worked for your neighbor isn't going to be the same thing that's going to work perfectly for you, because everybody's financial and tax situation is different. So we've got to be mindful of that.
Yeah. You know, if we were to ask probably the majority of our clients, I mean, we got a relationship, and I love running to my clients in Kroger, right? I'm not dodging anybody, but you know, I love running into my clients you know, I'm a big car fan, and I love going and taking my kids to car shows, classic cars. And I run into my kids, you know, in different parts of the city at the zoo, right? And the fact is, it's a non-cookie cutter approach, because they know that the first piece of information we gathered was about them, right? What is the goal here? What are we trying to accomplish? Where's the value? That's the proposition. And so it's not off the shelf mutual fund, ETF, cookie cutters. It is a customized approach, one client at a time. Yeah. And I hope they understand that.
Yeah, it has to be if it's going to work for you. So great information. If you'd like more information, you can get this book on Amazon. You can also reach out to Alex's office, schedule an appointment with Alex, and leave with an autographed copy. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back. I'm Sevilla Beam, and I'm here with Alexander Joyce. We're learning more about his book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. And we want to talk to you about Chapter 10, Taxes in Retirement. Sounds so exciting. I know for me as a CPA, that is the exciting part of retirement, is helping my clients on the tax side. But tell us a little bit more about what we can find in the book.
Yeah, you know, one thing that we wanted to build in our firm, being a one-stop shop for all things financially related, right? On the topic of course, financial planning, retirement planning. Taxes are a big thing, because you know, when you've got W-2 income, we talked about climbing the mountain in multiple chapters of our book, the accumulation phase. And when you're coming down and you're starting to live off of your assets, well, most people in their portfolios, the lion's share of their assets is pre-tax dollars. And so what you've got to do to fill those gaps, as we call them, the income gap in retirement, to fill your lifestyle, to make yourself whole, is you've got to live on your money. And when you start to live on your money, one of the biggest areas you need to focus on is how you're going to be taxed on those dollars. As you were climbing that mountain, taxes were being taken out. Now that you're coming down that mountain, living off of your assets, taxes need to be taken out. And so it is purely your responsibility to pay that tax bill. We've got clients that want to be proactive about it. Maybe they do quarterly tax filings. We've got some clients that still do their annuals, right? And they're coming in our office and we're doing their taxes. You know, here it is March, right? And we're taking care of those things. But the fact is, we also want to do not just filing from you know, from a financial planning perspective. We want to maybe sit down and look at efficiencies inside that portfolio as well. We want to look at things like, we talk about new ideas. We want to look at things like, what does the analysis say about if a Roth conversion is good for a client? We understand that there's such a thing called RMD, not to jump into different chapters of the book, but RMD calculators or RMD divisors, money that must come out of 401ks or IRAs. The older you get, the more mature you get in your retirement, those numbers go up. I dare say that taxes will go up as well in the future, right? I may be sticking my foot in my mouth there, right? Maybe
I think you'd be okay to say
not
that.
going down the political avenue, but taxes could go up in the future. RMDs will go up in the future. We do get more mature in our retirement. The fact is, if we look at the tax environment today, it may be more efficient to start to convert some of those dollars into after or tax-free dollars now, as opposed to waiting later and converting at a higher tax rate. You being a CPA can speak to that in a lot more detail, right? But the fact is, we want to bring those ideas to the table, because we look at tax efficiencies inside of a portfolio the same way we look at returns inside of a portfolio. If the portfolio or the plan is not tax efficient, we're simply eating up returns. The same as if the fees or expenses are too high, we're simply eating returns. And so we want to make sure that all things are efficient. We want to, when we build that plan, we do not miss out on efficient tax opportunities. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely, and I know for a lot of our clients, it's those first few years into retirement. It's that, especially that first transition year, knowing, okay, I don't have an employer submitting taxes for me anymore. Where is my money going to be coming from? Is it a pension? Am I going to be withdrawing from my IRA or my 401k? What are my Social Security benefits looking like? How does this whole picture fit together, and what does that mean for my taxes? And it's especially important that first year, but I think it's something that we have to continually analyze year to year, because the market's different year to year. So we want to keep in mind there may be changes every year that we need to be accounting for on that tax side.
I 100% agree. You know, in working with, CPA, working with estate planners, working with, and having everything under one roof, I think for our clients, it gives them tremendous peace of mind. I think that, when we build out these plans, everybody's able to communicate, right? And everybody's able to have one goal, and that is that client, what's best for them, not just from a working with a fiduciary standpoint, but hey, even on a suitability or just purely, how would it make them feel to have everybody at the table, right? For them. Yeah. That's got to be a great feeling. I'd want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'd want everybody there working for me, building out what's mine, because you've spent the last 30, 40 years building it and making that transition and handing it off to your team to saying, okay, let's do this, right? That's powerful, right? That's powerful. Yeah. So that's what that chapter does.
Great, great. Well, if you'd like some more peace of mind on how your taxes fit into your retirement, you can find the book on Amazon. You can also reach out to Alex's office, schedule an appointment with him, and leave with a free copy that day. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. Getting the education you need for a successful retirement is key. That's why I've written my second book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want. The book covers topics like identifying the income gaps, new ideas for investing, taxes and retirement, your legacy beyond dollars and cents, and much more. I've written this in an easy to understand format so that just about anyone can get the most out of it. To get a copy of ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want, you can go to Amazon. But if you're one of the first callers, you can get a complimentary signed copy of this book just by scheduling a no-cost, no-obligation visit. This book is packed with information that will help you get the most out of your retirement years. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now. Education is key. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement. There's some things in life we can always get back. Money, that's one of them. But time, that can never be replaced. Your kids, grandkids, they don't care how big your house is or the type of car you drive. The time they spend with you, that's what matters most. Allow us to help take your financial concerns away so you can enjoy the more important things in life. Call us today at 317-903-9157. Schedule a no-obligation visit and rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back. I'm Sevilla Beam, and I'm here with Alexander Joyce. We're learning more about his book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. What we want to talk about now is Chapter 11, the future of U.S. taxation, kind of a sticky topic. So tell us a little bit more about what we can find in the book.
You know, it is tough. And what we wanted to, and we didn't, let's first and foremost talk about what we didn't want to talk about in that chapter in the book, because we can't predict the future, right? And I think that's the challenge is, you know, from this side as an advisor, actively practicing and actively still meeting with clients every day, I think that what they sometimes want or expect, as knowledgeable as we are, no one has a crystal ball. And what we wanted our clients to know, and of course working with CPAs and having everybody here, we wanted them to understand that we're not missing this. Right, we are doing our best to do analysis and understand what future values look like on money, and having gone through that, right, what is present value, what is future, you know, what does future money look like, and giving projections of those values, because that's what people want us to do. They want us to make sure they never outlive their money. At the same time, taxation plays a huge role in that. Taxation on the money is a not just a big expense, but it's a big fear. And we know that over time, we probably, I guess we can't predict the future, right? But we know we have some sense of direction based on history, right? We think, right, in these, again, our opinions, we think that taxes over time will rise. And I think as taxes rise, it is going to do something with current dollars. And so we have to make sure that we're giving at least educated opinions of what we think, or the direction, non-political direction, of what those dollars or those values could look like. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it just boils down to trying to make the best decisions with the information we have now, while trying to use the information that we have from the past about what it may look like in the future. Like you said, we don't have a crystal ball. I think if we did, you and I would both be retired already. So I think just knowing that we're making those decisions as best we can for our clients, while keeping in mind, you know, the volatility of tax law and politics and how it plays into everybody's money.
Yeah, it is a risk. You know, when people think of risk, and we could spend days talking about risk because there's so many, and that's just it, right? We're pretty much at the mercy of political risk, geopolitical risk, you know, interest rate risk. You know, when people think of risks, they think, well, I don't want to lose money. They think of market risk and the volatility in the market. But what you really want your advisor to look at is not just those simple risks to understand and calculate, but give an opinion, right, based on an educated opinion based on what you think could happen, because that's what they rely on, and that's what they trust. They trust not in terms of what future accuracy looks like, because again, we can't tell the future, but we should have somewhat of a better understanding based upon history, based upon education, based upon practice every day, and to give them some kind of direction. And I think more than anything, Sevilla, that's what people are looking for. They just want to know they're going to be okay. Yeah,
that's what we all want to know, especially for our money and for retirement. So if you want a little bit more peace of mind about how your money and taxes and retirement are going to work for you, you can find Alex's book on Amazon. You can also reach out to his office, schedule an appointment with him, and leave with a free copy of his book. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement. There's some things in life we can always get back. Money?
that's one of them. But time, that can never be replaced. Your kids, grandkids, they don't care how big your house is or the type of car you drive. The time they spend with you, that's what matters most. Allow us to help take your financial concerns away so you can enjoy the more important things in life. Call us today at 317-903-9157. Schedule a no-obligation visit and rejoice in your retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. Getting the education you need for a successful retirement is key. That's why I've written my second book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want. The book covers topics like identifying the income gaps, new ideas for investing, taxes and retirement, your legacy beyond dollars and cents, and much more. I've written this in an easy-to-understand format so that just about anyone can get the most out of it. To get a copy of ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want, you can go to Amazon. But if you're one of the first callers, you can get a complimentary signed copy of this book just by scheduling a no-cost, no-obligation visit. This book is packed with information that will help you get the most out of your retirement years. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now. Education is key. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back. I'm Sevilla Beam, and I'm here with Alexander Joyce. We're learning more about his very informative book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. And what we want to talk about now is Chapter 12, your legacy. And I know we get this a lot with our clients when we're discussing their retirement. Everybody's different. Everybody's different about, how they want their retirement to look, what they want to leave behind, and what that looks like. So tell us a little bit about what we can find in the book.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because I think I've said this, and some people disagree, and of course we can all disagree, right? And agree to disagree. But I think that the baby boomer generation probably is the last generation to ever leave real wealth, and I say that. In an environment where debts are really high, we're in an environment that there's less savings, in an environment where there is no pension, right? In an environment where Social Security is very volatile, and in an environment that in my practice we ask that question, and that question is, what is the purpose of the money? In terms of asset classes and diversification, the purpose of the money, is it live on or is it leave on, right? When we ask that question, right there, to me, is a fork in the road. When we understand the assets are meant for legacy planning, they've got to be managed a little bit different, okay, as opposed to those assets being live on or leave on. That's the purpose that we're trying to accomplish, right? Sure. And when we understand that, and we understand that one of the biggest goals is to leave a legacy, okay, leave the assets, we want to start to understand what are the efficiency factors in terms of what we're trying to achieve. We want to better understand the family dynamic. We want to better understand longevity planning. We want to better understand health. We want to better understand past health, if you would. We want to understand a lot more in terms of the individual to be able to make sure that we can accomplish what they want to accomplish. Now, it's also important to understand on that legacy piece, just like taxes, on that legacy piece within our firm, being a full service firm, being able to meet with estate planners there. Absolutely. And to be able to understand, not from just a planning or investment perspective, be able to sit down in the same place, the same office, same location as when you first came in, and now understand better how that legacy process will live out, okay? Meaning, what are the differences between a will? If I have POD or TOD, do I need a will? If I've got a will, but I want more sophisticated planning, is it a trust that I should have? If it's a trust, what type of trust? There's multiple types of trust. What happens if health-related issues become a challenge? Or if I predecease, is that going to be a challenge? Do I not want to leave lots of money all up front or as a lump sum to my two children? Maybe they're not as financially responsible as I'd like them to be right now. Maybe we should be considering health, education, maintenance support. Maybe it's an income stream. Maybe it's a brick in the wall. Maybe it's a pet trust. We don't know. But the fact is, We gather that information by asking two simple questions. Are the assets live on or are they leave on? That's the direction that we're going to go.
Sure.
Everybody needs to feel comfortable in their retirement. So income is always a challenge. Income is always an objective. But once we secure that income and we have a clear projected analysis, if you will, about probability of great success, of them not outliving it, living it, then we can carve out the portion for them to leave.
Sure.
Make sure it's enough.
Absolutely, and I think this just really drives home that holistic approach of making sure that it's not just your financial planner or it's not just your CPA, but we've got the planner, we've got the CPA, we've got the estate planner, the attorney there. We're looking at everything from a holistic approach, and I think a little bit of the scary part is you've got to have some uncomfortable conversations and answer some uncomfortable questions to get you to that comfortable spot where you know that you're prepared for retirement. You know that you're prepared to leave that legacy that you were planning on leaving.
That's so true. It is. And sometimes it's 5 or 8 or 10 meetings to find out that they've got cancer. Right? Or if it's, there's addiction in my family, or that there's a kid that I just don't know if he's, leaving money on him or her right now would actually hurt them.
Sure.
But as you said, Sevilla, we've got to know those things, right? We've got to know those things so we can do what's right and what's best for you.
Yeah, it's a hugely important part of the plan. So if you've got questions or you're unsure about how to leave a legacy, or if you're looking to live on or leave on money, feel free to reach out to us. Give Alex's office a call, and you can also find his book on Amazon, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Do you remember this? How about that? Do you remember? The journey to retirement hasn't always been easy. I'm Alexander Joyce. Let us build a retirement plan you can rely on. A financial plan that gives you confidence and peace of mind. A legacy plan that protects them. And let us start that process today. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement. I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Thank you so much for watching today's Retirement Halftime Show. If you've got any questions about today's show, give us a call, go to our website, and remember, maintain your lead in retirement. We'll see you next time.